Hey guys, it's Miss Stefan. Today I'm going to do a guided reading with you of this informational text called Earth, No Place Like Home. I know we've been doing a lot of work with planets, with our solar system, and just last week we read a book about Mars. So this week we're going to listen to a book on Epic, and I'm going to be stopping and pausing and asking you guys some guiding questions. When I pause after the question, I want you guys to take some time to think about it or jot down some answers. You can write it down anywhere you like or just think along. And then I'm going to tell you some of the answers at the end of the pause. We're going to go through the whole book together. And then at the end, I'm going to give you guys some next steps for taking the quiz where I could check out your progress on Epic. If you have that app, or go to the website on your phone or tablet or on your computer. And then I'm going to give you information for how to write and send me a summary. Okay? So sorry, this is my first time doing one of these. So if it sounds a little silly or if I make some mistakes, don't judge me. Hope it will just get better. But it will be great to do this guided reading with you. I miss you all. And also feel free to text or call and give me some feedback of how I can make it more helpful for you in the future, okay? So let's get started.
What's the only planet where plants and animals live? Earth.
Okay, so I just want you guys to think about, I know you guys already know that Earth is the only planet where there is life in our solar system. I want you guys to take a minute and think about what are some of the reasons that Earth is the only planet where there are plants and animals living. Just take a minute to think. What are some of the reasons that Earth is the only planet where there are living things in our solar system? Okay, so some of the things we know that make Earth unique or different from our other planets is that Earth has water, which we know organisms need to live. And also, it's just the right distance from the sun. It's not too hot and it's not too cold either. So it's actually a temperature where Earth has where life can survive. Also, we have oxygen is one of the gases that we have that we need to breathe as humans, and animals and plants need to survive, and Earth has just the right amount. And then also we know that based on the distance from the sun, it's just the right amount of gravity for people to exist comfortably.
What's the only planet where plants and animals live? Earth. Earth is the third planet from the sun. Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter. Earth moves around the sun. The trip takes 365 days or 1 year.
Okay, so I just wanted to pause a second there too. Who can remember the scientific term for the trip that the Earth makes around the sun? I'm just going to pause for a minute. What is that trip called? And if you remember, we say that the Earth orbits around the sun. So we actually have a scientific term for that trip that it takes. In 365 days, that's 1 year, and that's the amount of time it takes for the Earth to orbit around the sun. All the other planets have different amounts of time that it takes them for 1 year. Okay, the closer the planet is to the sun, the faster it can orbit around the sun. The farther the planet is, the longer it takes.
Heat and light from the sun travel to Earth. Sun, heat and light from the sun. The heat helps warm the planet.
So if you just take a minute here, one thing I forgot to mention in this informational text, one thing I really like about it is that there are a lot of text features. So if you look right here, we have a nice diagram, right? And diagrams are a way for authors to illustrate a point or information for us. We have some pictures here. We also have captions. And all of that is really helping us to better understand that the concept that the author's trying to tell us. So right here, they really want us to understand what's happening in one Earth day in 24 hours. We see that when your location on Earth is facing the sun, in every 24 hours, it's daytime. We can see that the heat and the light from the sun are directly shining on or directly connected to that part. Then we know that the Earth actually is rotating around every 24 hours. And when it's turned away from the sun, that's when it's our nighttime. Okay, so this is a really nice diagram here that the author's using to help us better understand that concept.
Daytime, nighttime. Many kinds of animals and plants live on Earth. They need the sun's warmth and light to live and grow.
Okay, so we know this. We talked about this already. This is one of the reasons that Earth is the only planet where there is life that we know of in our solar system. I just want you guys to think about, we know that we need sunlight for plants and animals to live, but why? Why do we actually need it? And also, what might happen without sunlight? Just take a few minutes to think about that. Think of your answers or jot down your answers. So some of the things we know are that without sunlight, plants 100% need sunlight in order to produce their own food. So plants could not survive at all without sunlight. Also, we know that with the food web, right, we need plants for other animals to eat the plants in order to survive. And that directly connects to us and all other animals having food to consume, having food to eat. Also, without the sun or without being close enough to the sun, our water would stay frozen. It would be way too cold for life to exist. Just like, remember, if we want to do a text-to-text connection, in the book we read last week on Epic, the Mars book, and also from our class lessons, we learned that actually Mars does have water, but it just happens to be frozen. In the very north and the very south of Mars, there are actually ice caps, very similar to our own. All the water that exists on Mars is currently frozen. So we know, because Mars is a little bit farther from the sun, that it's not warm enough for the water to be in liquid form. So for all these reasons, we need sun in order to survive.
Oceans cover most of Earth. Ocean water. No other planet in our solar system has liquid water on its surface.
So that's what I just mentioned, right? On the last page when we were talking about needing the sunlight, that directly connects to what we were talking about with Mars, right? The water there is frozen, so it's not able to support life right now. Earth is currently the only planet that actually has liquid water, and we have a lot of it. Earth is mostly made of or covered by water. Land as well, but if you look at here, there's a lot more blue than there is land.
The rest of Earth is covered by land. Land. There are dry deserts and deep valleys. Tall mountains stretch toward the sky. Oxygen and other gases surround Earth. Animals and people breathe in oxygen to live.
So we know that other planets have gases too, but not the right kind or the right amount to support life. So we know humans and animals and plants, everything on our planet that's alive requires oxygen to live. So Earth is the perfect habitat for life.
So far, scientists have not found living things on other planets. To look for them, scientists send spacecraft into space.
And right here, I just want you guys to think about, also make that other text-to-text connection. In the Mars book last week, we talked about scientists sending robots Remember, so right now they're actually robots that are on the surface of Mars, and they're constantly working. They're sending back videos, they're sending back all different kinds of information. And why do you think that scientists have decided to send robots there right now? Just want you to think about that a minute. So scientists want to have a robot there so that they can collect really important information about Mars. They can find out what the soil is like, what the air is like, if there are really big mountains, really deep valleys, so maybe there are windstorms or sandstorms. They need to figure out every possible aspect, everything about life on Mars before they send their first human expedition to Mars in the future. This will help them to be able to prepare for the unexpected. That way they could plan and prepare for anything that might happen.
One day, we may discover new life far, far away. A spacecraft.
This just shows us some information about Earth. This has some kind of cool extreme Earth facts. And you could just compare Earth to some other planets that you might know about in the solar system, how old it is, how far from the sun, how hot it can get. Look, in some places, 134 degrees Fahrenheit. It gets super hot in some places, but still humans can survive. We talk about our biggest oceans, our tallest trees, our biggest animals. And there's just a glossary here for you guys to reference if you want to go back in your second read to look at some important definitions to know. Okay, so now that we're done with the book, what you guys are going to do is, after you finish watching this with me, the guided reading, here's your next steps. When you're done listening, you're going to go ahead and you're going to go sign on to Epic on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, whatever works for you. You can use it anywhere. I want you to do a second read of the book because remember, good readers always read at least 2 times. Okay, and this time I want you to challenge yourself. See if you could read the book on your own without the audio. If some of the words feel too tricky, you could always click on them and it will read it just to you. But I really want you guys to work on your accuracy and your fluency and read it on your own for the second read. Then you're going to go to this blue tab right here to start the quiz. I'll be able to see when you've completed it at the end. Finally, the last thing I want you to do, and this is new for this week, and we're going to do this every Monday and Thursday going forward, I want you guys to take the time to write a quick summary. It only has to be 1 paragraph, maybe 5 to 7 sentences. And I want you guys to include, because this is informational text, it's a nonfiction text, you have to include an introduction, the main idea, at least 3 key details. So don't just pick any detail. You have to pick the 3 very, very important details that support your main idea about this book about Earth. And then finally, one thing we didn't get a chance to work on a lot before schools closed was our closing statements. I want you guys to just try on your own some kind of closing statement, tying all of your information in your paragraph together. And that's something we're going to be working on in the next few weeks. After you've written your 5 to 7 sentence summary, your 1 paragraph summary, you could take a picture of it and you could have your parent, or you can text it to me, or you could send it to me to my email address. Whatever works for you. If you have any questions about this, feel free to text me or call me at any time. But I'm looking for the first person to complete all of this, to do their second read, complete the quiz, and text or email me the summary. And the first person to complete all of this with accuracy, so doing it the correct way, there will be a prize coming. I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson, and I'm looking forward to our next one.